Hey, what's going on, guys? We're back with the next part of our Learning C# tutorial series, and last time I left you guys with some homework, and that was to complete the local SFX manager with the same functionality we had already implemented for the local overlay manager. Hopefully it was easy enough. It's pretty much just copy and pasting and then changing up some names. It's exactly the same pretty much. And then we'll let Unity recompile this. And now we have this serialized clips and overlays. And we want 3 of them here. The ref name here will be Springfield. The ref name here will be Springfield _ BB. And then the third one will be Springfield _ BU. And let's go ahead and find these sound assets in here. Alright, that's done. Let's do the same for our overlay manager. Pass in the Springfield. Drag in that guy there. And that's how it's done. Now we're going to go ahead and create a prefab of this so we can easily drag it on to all of our scenes, and we can also go ahead and whenever we update it in one scene, we can hit this apply and it'll update it in every single scene. So it's really useful that way. And if we go ahead and hit play now, you'll notice our sounds should work. And there you go. We are still able to play our sound and do the rechamber. Everything is working perfectly fine the way it should be. And our audio streamer is working as well. Now, I'm pretty sure there was one more thing I wanted to talk about. If not, well, it's been a very short video. Oh, yep, that's right. We had to finish testing our weapon serialization. And it's funny because it has been quite a while since, it's been like 2 episodes, I think, and when I said we're going to test it out, but now we're actually going to go ahead and finally test it out. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this public for now, just for testing purposes, and then we're going to go ahead and for testing purposes, of course, we'll do void start, and we're going to go ahead and print this. So now when we load up this weapon store, it should serialize our data and print it to the console for us to take a look at. So let's go ahead and load up the world map here. We'll put it on our main camera, dragging in or adding the components of what do we call it again? Weapon store. And how do I make this guy go away? Okay, we'll ignore that for now. I made it public so we can go ahead and actually serialize this. We'll do test weapon. We'll pass in test overlay. Obviously we would get an error if we tried to load this in. Well, you know what, we'll go ahead and put in legitimate information so we do actually know that it is working the way it should. Whoops. And I'm going to go ahead and actually hit save real quick, load up the neighbor scene, grab our overlay manager. So we have recoil of 5. Let me just jot down this information real quick. Okay, go to our world map, plug it in here as well. Okay, and now if we hit play, it should serialize this data to the console. To here. And here is that string, that serialized string of data. We have the weapon class, and encased in that we have a recoil of 5. We have a bolt up of Springfield BU. We have the name, the overlay string, the sensitivity scaler. We have all this information that has now been serialized to a string, and we can go ahead and actually reuse the manager in any way possible whenever we need to serialize data that way, and we can save it and load it up as we want to. So we're going to go ahead and actually, because it's been a short video, we're going to go ahead and actually implement loading the player prefs. And well, actually, you know what? What I'm going to go ahead and do is put that in, hit play, and I'm going to copy this code actually. And this will be our fail. If anything happens where something fails, that'll be the string we default to. So we'll go ahead and in here, well, we'll do it in our overlay manager. Here where we had our public weapon array of weapons and our public weapon of current weapon, instead what we're going to do is remove this. Well, we won't remove it just in case we actually go ahead and implement multiple weapons, but for now we'll just keep it private if I can go ahead and get that to work the way it should. Then what we'll do is, I think we have it in our start function here. Yep, we have our current weapon equals weapon 0. Before that we'll do weapons sub 0 is equal to XML manager dot load a weapon from the XML string. So we'll do player prefs dot get string, and then I think it was equipped weapon, and then the default value here, we'll have to go ahead and plug that in. Now we have a problem because there are quotation marks inside of this string, and the way to do that is using escape. So, and to do an escape from a string is just a backslash. Let me make sure I didn't miss any. A better way of doing this will probably be a private weapon class, but for now we'll go ahead and keep it. Well, okay, I changed my mind. Yeah, this is getting really messy. So instead we're just going to leave this with a empty string for the default. And then what we'll do is we'll do if player prefs dot has key, passing in that equipped weapon. Then we'll go ahead and load it. Otherwise, we'll do weapons sub 0 is equal to a new weapon, and then we're going to go ahead and initialize it this way. Now, to initialize it, we're just going to go ahead and let me go ahead and, well, actually I already have it still jotted down. I think we'll do name is equal to Springfield. We'll do chamber time is equal to 1. Sensitivity scalar was 10, I believe. The bolt back is equal to Springfield underscore BB. Bolt up is equal to Springfield underscore BU. The fire sound is equal to Springfield. The max sway, I believe, was 1. The overlay was also Springfield. The power was 26, I think we made it. The recoil was 1, I don't know. And the stability was also 1. In fact, I think recoil was 5. Either recoil or stability, one of those was 5. I'll go ahead and check real quick. Our recoil was the 5 one. Good. And now we have it defaulted to this default weapon here. And then so now what this does, it'll try and load it from the player prefs, and it'll do that based on what has been saved to the player prefs. Now, because we don't have a store system yet, nothing will be loaded. However, we do have the functionality in there, but it will load that default value. And you'll notice now, if I load the tutorial scene, we do not have a local overlay manager or a local SFX manager in here like we need. So, let's go ahead and fix that up real quickly. And now we can go ahead and drag in that local data manager. And as simple as that, we can go ahead and load the mission. Well, not quite, I suppose. No reference exception at 119. And what was the other one? 301. Oh, was it the same script? It is the script. 301. Where is that? Okay, so it's saying the current weapon is not being assigned to. If we go to our start here, that is saying that the current weapon Sub-Zero is not being loaded. So let's figure out why that is. If we go to the top of our console here, we got a object reference not set up at 135, which, if I'm not mistaken, is here. Here. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and figure out what's going on here. Okay, we're back, and you'll notice there's a little bit of changing here. It's just a some debug for a rather simple fix. Even this I changed up, but you don't have to worry about it. The way I did it, I just plugged it into a variable so I could see what was failing, but you can keep it the way it was before. It'll still work. And the one problem we had was not that we removed, or we didn't remove, but we made the weapons array private. It actually reset the serialization in the inspector, so the inspector actually had nothing there. It was a 0 size array, and we were trying to assign a weapon to the first index of that array, which happened to fail because it didn't have any room to insert So what we did is we just up top here, before we added to the weapons, we said weapons equals a new weapon array of size 1, and then we were able to plug in that new weapon into that array. And then if we go ahead and play now, everything is loaded and serialized from the player preferences. And there we go. So I'll see you guys next time.